Hello again, YouTube. It's been about 6 days since I last uploaded, so I'm sorry about that, but I do have a full-time job where I work like 12 to 13 hours a day, so it's been a bit difficult for me to upload. I know on my last video I said I'd upload again the next day. Went a bit overboard with that cast, but I pulled it back. So I'm continuing on with the challenge that I set for myself. If you're unfamiliar with it, what I'm trying to do is go through every lake until I catch a boss fish on each lake, using only maggot and worm baits, and I can't leave the lake that I'm on until I catch a boss, basically. On this lake, the bosses are just the smaller varieties, so you've got your roach, your tench and your bream. So I think my maggot and worm bait should actually get me a boss fish on here. I think I've got a little tench on that first one. There's actually only 2 boss fish out of this lake that I haven't caught, which are Salty and William Lakespear. Salty being a tench and William Lakespear being a roach. I don't know why this fish is being so difficult. It's only a little carp. There we go, got him. Excuse me. So I know I've mentioned this guy on the channel a few times. Another YouTuber who does live streams, a guy called Big Bug. He did a live stream yesterday on this game, and I was watching it and I was getting involved in the chat. And he has moderators on his channel. Sorry, I didn't get a proper look at that fish. Yeah, he has moderators on his channel to basically keep an eye on the chat, so if anybody says anything untoward, they can just basically give them a timeout, they can ban them. And 2 of his moderators were actually having a bit of an argument in the chat. That was a little tench that I caught. £3, 5 ounces. I don't think I've ever caught a smaller tench. Anyway, so these 2 guys that were his moderators, which, like I said, they're the guys who are supposed to be monitoring the chat, making sure nobody oh, that's on the rocks there, but never mind. Making sure nobody says anything untoward, and if they do, they get kicked out of the chat, basically. But the 2 guys were arguing with each other over for whatever reason. I don't know why. But I put a comment on there as a joke, saying, I think you need some new moderators, mate. and one of the moderators, I think his name was Dr. Dave Tech, actually wanted to ban me. He was saying he was going to ban me for saying that. At that point, Big Bug looked at his comments, saw that Dr. Dave Tech was trying to ban me, and he pretty much stopped his video at this point. He looked through it and he's like, "No, Dan's done nothing wrong." And I apologised. I was like, "Look, dude, sorry, I was just making a joke. You won't get any trouble from me." And I'd like to sort of apologise again. Just say, look, it wasn't meant in malice. I wasn't saying... I just said it as a joke. This is another one that's just sitting there and won't come in. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's definitely a boss fish. And it's William Lake Spear as well. It's one of the ones I haven't got. That's awesome. That means two things. One, I can move off this lake now. And two, I only need one more boss fish off this lake to actually have all of them. So I'm going to get this last fish in. And then I'm going to move on to Digger Lake. It's another nice little roach. Alright. Let's go to the next lake. (6 AM) start, white clouds, static. Keeping with that same tackle box. I'm going to do that throughout this entire challenge. Pretty pleased I actually caught one of the bosses that I hadn't caught before. That was cool. Right, there's not many decent spots on this lake. There's one that I've caught boss fish from before. I've caught a fish called the Boxer there about 3 times. But I've always used boilie baits, and this time I've set myself the limitation of just using maggot or worm. It's not this spot. Where is it? Yeah, it's over here. So I normally go to this peg. Yeah, we'll keep it like that on this one. Size 12. Braided hair rig and chopped worm, so I'll get that one in. I normally fish, you see where the there's a tree that's sort of hanging over. Oh, I've cast that too far, way too far. Yeah, that's not coming back. Sorry about that. There's a tree that's sort of hanging over the water. I normally fish sort of underneath that tree. I've gone too far again. There we go. Oh, I'm not close enough to my rods to actually put the rod down. I'm making a mess of this. So this tree on the left, it's overhanging. I fish close to that. And Like I said, I've caught a fish there called the Boxer on a few separate occasions. This lake, interestingly, has only got carp in it. There's nothing else but carp. Let's go with the caster on this one. They're all on the size 12 hair rig. That's perfect. Yeah, so to Dr. Dave Tech, if you ever end up watching this, I'm sorry if I caused any offence, mate. I didn't mean to. I was just making a joke. This can be quite a tricky lake at times, and to be honest with you, with the limitations that I've set, as in the baits that I'm using, I probably will struggle with this lake. I might be here for a while, to be honest. But it's my own fault. It's the rules that I set for myself, and I'm sticking to it. There we go, first fish. I think there's only one or two boss fish that I haven't caught out of here. I think there's two. As I mentioned, I've caught the Boxer on a couple of different occasions. I think there's only about 7 boss fish in this lake, and I think I've caught 5 of them. Tell you what, you get nothing and then it all goes off at once. Come on, get in. don't think any of these are boss fish. Right, let's see what we've got. £18 1 ounce common. Nice enough carp, but not the boss that we want. I'd be happy with one of those in real life. To me that would be a boss in real life if I caught one of them. £17 2 ounce mirror. Again, I wish I could catch one of them. I might have mentioned this before, but I think my personal best carp was probably only about £6. And a £14 mirror. Again, bigger than my personal best. The reason for that mainly is I don't actually go out of my way to catch carp. What I normally do is just go coarse fishing, so I'm just setting up with a float rig, and if I can catch a £1 roach, I'll be happy with that. I do have all the gear to actually go carp fishing. I've got all the ledgers and that, and I've got the rod pod, I've got multiple rods. And there's venues near me that I'm licensed to go and fish on where I could use all that gear. The trouble is I don't really have the knowledge to actually tie the rigs up, because I've never really done it. I've only ever done float fishing. Which is why this game's pretty cool, because obviously you don't have to tie anything up. It's all done for you. I'm trying to think which boss fish I actually need out of here. Well, not need, but haven't caught. I think there's a fish called Baby M. I don't think I've caught that one yet. I think that's one of them, but there's another one as well. This feels like a good fish. I don't think this is a boss. I think it's just a slightly bigger fish than what I've been catching. But we'll find out soon enough. I can't actually remember what the biggest fish in this lake is. I think it's Baby M, but I can't think of like what weight that fish is. Let's get rod 2 next. That beeping is really annoying, especially when you're wearing a headset. This one's giving me a bit of a run around. I don't think this is a boss. I think sometimes the smaller fish give you a better fight than the bigger fish when you get them close in. There we go, it's in. £17, 10-ounce mirror. So I said the smaller fish. That ain't no small fish. I think rod 1 came off somewhere around the corner. So rod 3, let's see what this is. This, I don't know. I don't think it was a boss, but it could be potentially. And it is. It's platey. So I can get my ass off this lake and get onto, I think St. John's is the next one. But that's for another video. I'm not going to do that right now. Thanks for watching, guys. If you watched, I'll see you next time.